In the final days of World War II, nearly 1 million Waffen SS soldiers, once hailed as Hitler's unbreakable elite, faced a chilling reality. The Nuremberg Tribunal branded their entire organization criminal, sealing their fate as outcasts in a world they had terrorized. These men, clad in their infamous black uniforms that struck fear into hearts across Europe, did not simply vanish with the fall of the Third Reich in 1945. Instead, their battles shifted from the front lines to courtrooms, hidden escapes, and a lifelong struggle for redemption or denial. As the guns fell silent in May 1945, Nazi Germany lay in ruins, and hundreds of thousands of Waffen SS troops surrendered across the continent. What happened next shocked both sides. These so-called elite fighters, from divisions like Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler and Das Reich, to units recruited from conquered lands, were herded into captivity by American, British, and Soviet forces. Still wearing the uniforms that symbolized terror, they marched into uncertainty as prisoners of war or desperate fugitives. The Allies swiftly ordered the complete disbanding of the SS and all its parts. In the chaos of defeat, thousands endured harsh conditions in makeshift camps, battling hunger, illness, and the unknown under open skies. But no one knew the full reckoning was just beginning. At the Nuremberg Trials from November 1945 to October 1946, prosecutors laid bare the SS as a core tool of Nazi atrocities. On September 30, 1946, the International Military Tribunal declared the entire SS, including the Waffen SS, a criminal group. Membership alone could now be a crime, though leniency came for those drafted after 1943 or who shunned Nazi ideology. Denazification tribunals across occupied Germany classified millions of ex-Nazis, from major culprits to minor followers. For Waffen SS veterans, outcomes hinged on rank, where they fought, and shifting politics. High-profile cases emerged, like SS Brigade Führer Kurt Meyer of the 12th SS Panzer Division, convicted and jailed for massacres in France and Belgium. Others stood trial for horrors in Italy, the Balkans, or the brutal Eastern Front. Yet most ordinary soldiers walked free within months, their pasts scarred but their futures open. Meanwhile, a few chose exile, slipping away with fake documents and underground aid. Men like former Panzer leader Karl Nicolucci Lech fled to Argentina in 1948, starting anew under Juan Perón's protection. Paths led others to Spain, Syria, or Egypt, sparking tales of Nazi escape networks tied to church or spy circles, some proven, others still disputed. For those who remained, the early years brought deep isolation. The Waffen SS label evoked cruelty and zealotry, barring veterans from jobs, benefits, and even honoring their dead. By 1948, under Allied watch, West Germany's leaders viewed them as criminals, not soldiers. A once mighty force of almost 1 million was shattered into lone survivors, each grappling with judgment or oblivion. Their group infamy was etched at Nuremberg, but personal stories were only starting to emerge, setting the stage for a surprising revival. The birth of West Germany in May 1949 opened doors not just for the nation, but for these shadowed veterans. Amid rebuilding under Allied eyes, leaders faced integrating hundreds of thousands of former Nazis, including young, war-weary Waffen SS men deemed politically poisonous. At first, the West held firm. No public roles, no pensions for these branded criminals. But as the Cold War intensified, practicality trumped purity. West Germany craved stability and support, clashing with the need to absorb demobilized fighters. By the early 1950s, Bundestag debates raged over veteran aid. The Federal War Victims Relief Act of 1950 became pivotal, sparking outrage. Should Waffen SS men get help like regular Wehrmacht troops? Chancellor Konrad Adenauer and conservatives, eyeing votes, leaned yes, fearing unrest. In 1953, Adenauer stated publicly that Waffen SS men had fought as soldiers, just like others, a phrase heavy with meaning that hinted at normalization. This allowed many, especially late draftees, to claim modest pensions. By 1956, with the new Bundeswehr army forming, questions arose. Could ex-SS serve? Officially possible, but records reveal only 508 of 3,117 applicants were accepted by September. Rejected others for ideology, crimes, or allied fears of a stained military. Those who joined often hid their histories in silence. Outside the army, these men took factory jobs, built homes, or started trades, their discipline aiding survival amid lingering shame. In West Germany's quiet 1950s, most Germans avoided the past, and so did these veterans, merging into everyday life. But victims' pain lingered. Survivor groups and progressive voices decried benefits as injustice, while conservatives called it healing. Historians reflect that financial recovery often preceded true atonement. As the economy soared in the early 1960s, stability came for most, yet bitterness festered. Many felt betrayed, slandered, robbed of honor for their sacrifices. These feelings soon coalesced into a powerful movement, challenging how Germany remembered its darkest warriors. In the early 1950s, as West Germany rebuilt, ex-Waffen SS leaders quietly united. In 1951, figures like Paul Hauser, Otto Kumm, and Felix Steiner launched HIAG, the Mutual Aid Association of former Waffen SS members, initially for welfare denied by the state. But it grew into a lobby for politics and history. These generals, eloquent and linked, argued the Waffen SS was a neutral combat arm, not ideological. This view resonated. Politicians, chasing veteran votes in close races, engaged HIAG. Adenauer met them secretly, and leaders like Franz Joseph Strauss spoke at gatherings. His 1953 soldier, like others, remark owed much to their push. By mid-1950s, HIAG had widespread chapters, tens of thousands strong, with magazines like The Volunteer, Reunions, and books reframing SS as top units. Hauser's 1953 work Soldiers Like Any Other anchored this story. Influence crested in the 1960s. Some ex-officers gained public spots. Events went unchallenged. But the 1970s youth questioned the Nazi era, eroding acceptance. Exposés in media like Der Spiegel in 1978 uncovered HIAG's ties and pension pressures, sparking scandal. Parties pulled away, credibility crumbled. Still, HIAG endured another decade, backed by loyal elders defending their truth. In the 1980s, as numbers dwindled, fights over memorials and graves intensified, met by anti-fascist protests. In 1992, HIAG dissolved amid fading support and scorn. What happened next shocked observers. The Waffen SS debate refused to die. Even after HIAG's end in 1992, myths persisted, influencing memory, fairness, and identity. Post-Berlin Wall in 1989, unified Germany delved deeper into archives, exposing Waffen SS links to death squads and police, shattering the clean fighter illusion. Yet controversies flared. In the 1990s, media found some veterans still drawing pensions under old laws, igniting fury as many Holocaust survivors lacked equal aid. Governments mulled changes, but entrenched rules resisted. Abroad, in Eastern Europe like the Baltics and Ukraine, local SS veterans were hailed as anti-Soviet heroes. Riga's yearly marches for the 15th and 19th Latvian SS divisions drew rebukes from Jewish groups and Europe. These highlighted Waffen SS ties to new national stories. In Germany, by the 2000s, SS praise was forbidden. Laws banned symbols under Criminal Code Section 86A. Online extremists still idolized them as strong or united Europeans, prompting crackdowns as democratic threats. Scholars like Sönke Neitzel and Peter Longerich dissected how ideology wove into Waffen SS violence, affirming it as Nazis' armed wing. Others examined post-war silence as part of Germany's guilt wrestle. Now, with few survivors left, groups gone, the legacy lingers in arguments, writings, and legends. 80 years on, it warns how history bends and echoes forever. If this episode gripped you, explore what became of the Hitler Youth after the war next, delving into how Hitler's fervent youth group navigated defeat and renewal. Give it a thumbs up, join the channel, and turn on notifications for more from World War II Chronicles. We appreciate your time.